Hello, folks. Hello, hello. Can we hear me? Can we hear me? Can we see me? Etc. Etc. I'll sit up a little bit here. Oh gosh. All right. Oh, okay. Now, what fresh new horrors await us? Okay, guys. Let me. I kind of did this on the fly, so let me make sure I got everything in order. What do we got here? Excellent. I'm glad. I'm very glad. Very good. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Bruh Moment. Can we all see the screen here? The news conference screen. I do hope. Let me fix a few things here. Give me a moment. Boo. All right, there we go. Let me see audio output capture. There we go. Okay. All right, folks. Hello. I'm back again. We don't really have much planned this time. We're just going to be seeing what Trump and, well, as I call them, Prump, because they're basically lovers at this point. Might as well give them a couple's name, right? Okay. We'll see what they got to say. Let me see what we have here. Well, when they come out, of course. I did hear that, everyone started gathering because they were told that the press conference would be starting soon. So we shall soon see what it is. Bruh Moment, I know, it's very dystopian. That big thing in the background there that says pursuing peace. Yeah, George Orwell would, very much recognize that kind of language. Oh, you say the video's quiet? Now, I will say, Real Life Cat DJ, thank you. I will say no one's talking yet. I'm wondering if it might, well, we'll see when they actually start talking. I'm not sure how, well, let me take a look here. All right, okay. Let me see what I can do. Okay. There, can you guys hear it now a little bit? The kind of milling about going on there in the background. A lot of, yeah, okay. Okay, guys. Well, while we're waiting, how's everyone doing tonight? Let's have a little chat. I'm just curious how everyone's doing. I did see some great comments at the beginning here. Let's hope we don't lose the state of Alaska. Ugh, okay. Really ought to be smoking some cannabis at this point, but for whatever was about to happen, alas. I know, Grace. I know. You notice, like, my voice, you can kind of tell from my voice, I'm like already super disappointed about what's about to happen. Hey, thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Tracy, for becoming a resistor. Welcome to the, welcome to the community. It is absolutely hot as balls out right now. Agreed, for a moment. That is why I'm wearing my slutty little tank top. Okay, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. My revealing clothing. Okay. I'm going to actually move this camera a bit because I feel like it's a bit. Oh, there we go. Right. Okay. So I did hear, I believe, who was it that told me at the beginning of this stream that there were some reports coming out that Putin was in a fantastic mood. I should whip out the data. Shouldn't I whip out the data? Well, I could show you all. Well, never mind. I'm not going to show you anything. You can guess what I was about to say there, but yeah. I really ought to. Might as well hotbox this room at this point. Okay. we will see how this goes.
Students with ADHD save 10 hours studying with this Chrome extension. But no, by all means.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Real Life Cat DJ. What do you do for work, Real Life Cat DJ? I'm just out of curiosity. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. I'm curious. My good friend, Real Cat DJ. Yes, we did. We got a new member. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Tracy, for becoming a member. Love the cat pic. Very much love the cat pic. I got a cat here, so upstairs, but I have a kitty. Yeah, Grace Abrams, it was really embarrassing, that meeting that J.D. Vance and Trump had with Zelensky. Poor Zelensky. Yeah, sort of felt like an ambush, how they treated him. Romo, that's fantastic. That's great. That'd be a great experience. I mean, also, I'm not sure if you want to end up doing sports broadcasting. If you do, that's great. But of course, I'm sure you know, any sort of broadcasting experience can help you with all kinds of broadcasting experiences later. And I'll tell you what, I'm learning very quickly that the people who do this profession, I know, live streaming, and I guess not fully the same as broadcasting, but it takes a lot. Like, I am having to learn on the fly, and there is a lot involved. As many of you may have noticed, I think, like, I had a stream going for about 20 minutes. I didn't even know was going. And then I accidentally started this stream and ended it. So I am, yeah, very good to get early experience on that. All right, so you see here, love the K again. I think it was Bro Moment that pointed out the very dystopian message there in the background, pursuing peace. It kind of reminds me, by the way, folks, I don't know if you know, like, our America's, for those who aren't from America, is anyone here from outside the U.S.? First, let me ask that. Second of all, you know, that we have a Department of Defense, which is sort of in charge of the military and such. That used to be called the Department of War. And then they changed the name because they thought it kind of softened it and made it cuter. Even though it really is just the Department of War, we call it the Department of Defense. But anyway, because I'm sure it was just about defense when we invaded Iraq, right? Just about defense. Anyway, you get what I'm saying here. Hey, Luis. Hello. Welcome from the UK. We have had a few people here from the UK. I'd be curious, Louise, if you're willing. You don't have to, but if you're willing, how are folks in the UK? And I know there's great variety of thought about this. How are they feeling about what's going on in Ukraine? Let me know if you're up for it. Grace Abrams, yeah, definitely fly that Canadian flag. Yeah, oh, bruh moment. You are speaking my language. Yep, Ministry of Love type stuff. George Carlin would be drowning in new material. Oh, you know what? I was considering, bruh moment, for a while. I was like, I would love to do a live stream where we watch some George Carlin bits. I don't think I could, but that would be fantastic. Alan W., since we have time, I've always wondered, as a teacher, do you think that the U.S. textbooks curriculum is watered down to make the U.S. look better? I've learned a lot about our foreign yeah, Alan, they definitely are. And I have personal experience with that. I've had to look through multiple textbooks because, you know, I've been teaching and stuff. It is definitely watered down. Yeah, I like, for example, like discussions of slavery are very watered down. They oftentimes ignore the extreme violence or kind of describe it in very not very specific ways. For example, it's very often the case that, for example, I mentioned in my one video the Nat Turner Rebellion. That isn't talked about very much. A lot of stuff is left out. Let's just put it that way. And it's very colonist centric. Okay, so for example, you may have a textbook where you have a whole section on, you know, the 13 colonies, and then there might be like a little side panel about the Native Americans or whatever the case. So it is very centric that way. Another group that gets done to is women, okay, which to me was always absolutely shocking, given that women are 50% of the population. Oftentimes women are kind of put in the side panel. Or there might be like a chapter every once in a while that is like, oh, by the way, there are women in the United States too. Hey guys, yeah, Louise, Thank you for that message. Louise says Trump Putin, well, Louise being from the UK, Trump Putin meeting will be very different, I imagine, from the Trump Zelensky. So much bootlicking. Oh, you're speaking my language, Louise. I was mentioning earlier how they ought to just announce that they're a couple now and come out of the closet because, Trump and Putin really ought to be lovers. Hopefully they brought a condom to that meeting anyway. So what do we got here? We got, W.E. James Powell. Hi from a Brit living in California. Finally caught you live. Great to see you here. Uh, W.E. James Powell. Do you kind of follow the same thinking there as Louise, being from a Brit, regarding Putin and Trump? I'm curious to know. Yeah, pump. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's why really ought to. They really ought to have just a couple's name at this point. I agree. Hello, welcome again, Resident Union Thug, another one of our lovely group here. Okay. Um, yeah. Hey, bruh moment. I have known some teachers who handle it brilliantly. There are some great teachers who kind of are able to get around the propagandistic aspects of American curriculum, and they do it in a way that this, sounds like, well, shouldn't be the first thing they worry about, but it is the case. They're able to do it in a way that they're able to get away with it without anyone giving pushback, which is absolutely fantastic. One of the best ways to do it when you're a social studies teacher is just have students read primary documents. Like, for example, when we're talking about the nuclear bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I would just have my students read an account from a Japanese civilian that was living in Nagasaki and what they saw when it happened, and it was gruesome. But that would be a way to do it. You don't even have to say it to them, as if you just show them the primary document, they can kind of conclude themselves what's actually going on. Yeah, the two dictator levers. Absolutely. Absolutely, James Powell. Mosman, excited to hear what this land swap is all about. How much land will Ukraine be getting in this deal from Russia? Right, Mosman. Oh, I know. Poor Ukraine. And hey, I'm not too certain that Alaska won't just be given over to Russia at this point. I mean, God, Christ. So, yeah, exactly, Alan W. Yeah, they might just offer Trump might just be like, here, you went to Alaska. Nothing to anyway. So, right, couple. I think no, you're right. You're right, Louise. I don't know if I want to even think about them in a relationship. Uh, Bruh moment. We did a gallery walk where we walked down a hall and there was propaganda from every major country in World War II. That is brilliant, bruh moment. My hat goes off to your teacher. Okay, thank you. Wendy, I will do that. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, why not, right, Alan W? Why not? Why not just good old-fashioned land exchanges, like in the late 19th century, early 20th century? Yeah, fantastic. Love it. Why not? Why not give up Alaska, Canada, Greenland? Whatever. It's fine. Not like there's people there or anything, right? That would care about that, or whatever. Okay. We shall see how this goes. I'm kind of terrified, but we'll see how it goes. Gosh, like I said, I really should have done a little bit of, cannabis. Anyway. Hey, you know what? If he wants to give up the quote unquote blue woke states, I wouldn't mind. Let's transfer that over to Canada. Then they could get free health care also. And maybe it'd be better, right? The Gulf of Mexico. Yes, and it is, by the way, the Gulf of Mexico. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Screw the idea of the Gulf of America. I will not do cannabis. Don't worry. I'm not going to do it, Grace Abrams. Yeah. It's kind of just wishful thinking. So, folks, I know I had a live stream earlier, but as always, there are 5 super chat thing here. If we get the 5 super chats, I'll put on the jester hat. And if not, really not the end of the world. I don't know how long this will go, but you're right. I really ought to just take the edibles, right, bro? Moment. That's for sure. That is definitely for sure. All right. So, but that was a great question. Who was it that asked that? Was it Alan who asked about the curriculum in the United States? How things are very much. Oh, by the way, that is something else, Alan. I think this is a good question that he asked. I assume you're a he. I apologize if you're not. Yeah, one other thing that is not talked about in American textbooks a lot is labor. Labor movements are barely touched upon in American textbooks, especially how violent the government has cracked down on American labor movements and the violence done to labor movements and the violence done to unions and things like that. That is often left out of American curriculums, or it's only briefly covered, or it is covered in a sort of critical way where it's like, why were they violent? Okay, even though, if you guys all watch my stream about the Battle of Blair Mountain, you can kind of understand that. Yeah. Oh, okay. We got some folks coming in here. That is Sergei Lavrov, who is the foreign minister. He is a terrible person. If there's anyone in the chat from India, I believe, was it in India? I think it was. He actually went to India and he was giving a talk where he basically said that Russia hasn't done aggression against Ukraine, and the Indian audience started literally laughing in his face, and it made my day to see. Okay, here comes some more people. Those are I don't know who some of these folks are. They're moving too fast. Oh, there's Pete Hegseth, the idiot who's in charge of the Department of War. Oh, excuse me, Department of Defense. I forgot to use that propagandistic. Hey, God bless you, for a moment. Have fun, okay? So we'll see. Pete Hegseth, being the guy who was originally a Fox News host, had zero experience. I think he was in the military, but very low down in the military, who is now heading the Department of Defense of one of the most powerful militaries on the planet. God help us and God help the world. I say that as an atheist. That's how upset I am. It makes me pray. Okay. Let's see who else comes in here. Looks like we may have got. Okay, here we go. Oh, there is. Oh, gotta love little Marco, though. Okay, there's little Marco. That's what Trump calls him. I kind of appreciate that insult, so I'll continue to use it. Marco Rubio, a neocon who never saw a country he didn't want to bomb. Okay. Hey, good to see you, Big Brain. Thank you for checking in. Isn't this just a lovely little parade of idiots and fascists and other things? Oof. All right. Well, let's get the. Yeah, it was. So for a while, for a moment, there was some rumors that Pete Hegseth might be leaving his position because he was getting some pretty negative feedback from the Trump administration because of those leaks. Which he obviously should have been fired for. But regardless, of course not. This administration would never deign to fire a loyalist because in a fascist regime, what matters is loyalty. Competence does not matter. And it's a very ineffective way of doing government. Trump the peacemaker. Okay, yeah, we'll see about that, Hega Monster. Yeah, we'll see about that. All right. Yeah, poor privacy Pete. Very good, Mosman.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America and the President of the Russian Federation.
Anyone just puke in their mouth and have to swallow it? I know I did. You're right, Real Life Cat DJ. All right, here we go. The bumbling fool. Okay, there he is, everyone. Yay. He's a very
Mr. President,
stable genius.
ladies and gentlemen.
Уважаемый господин президент, дамы и господа, наши переговоры прошли в конструктивной и взаимоуважительной атмосфере. Были весьма обстоятельными и полезными. Хотел бы еще раз поблагодарить моего американского коллегу за предложение приехать на...
Folks, let me see if I can find somewhere where they're actually going to be translating. Sorry to pause this Trump-Putin meeting translation. I do not speak Russian. Beautiful language, though, really, absolutely beautiful language. I love the Let's try ABC News, okay?
Leads don't die because they say no. They die because you said nothing. I had 10 warm leads in my inbox. Real opportunities just sitting.
Это очень звучит, по-моему, по-доброму.
I think that's some
Нас разделяет только
kind words that we can
пролив.
say to each other.
Там два острова.
Okay, I'm gonna go back a
Steve
little bit.
Witkoff, the defense
Let's
secretary
hear what he had
of
to say.
sorts with larger
All right, go forward a little bit. Okay.
ceasefire today. But he also acknowledged that the
Ladies
war
and gentlemen, the President of the United
Okay,
States
we'll
There you
start
have
this
the
over.
announcement.
Sorry,
And the
folks.
President of the
Yeah, I
Russian-
agree.
of the United
They should
States
get a
and
better.
Vladimir Putin
It does look
taking the
like we have a
stage. Let's
MAGA
watch and let's
person
listen to
here.
the
We
report on the
welcome you to the
backside.
stream. I would like to hear your perspective on some of this stuff, Hego Monster. Please share your perspective. I think this is the first person we've had who is a Trump supporter in here. I would
Уважаемый
like to hear
господин
it.
президент, дамы и господа, наши переговоры прошли в конструктивной и взаимоуважительной атмосфере. Были весьма обстоятельными и полезными. Хотел бы еще раз поблагодарить моего американского коллегу за предложение приехать на
Where's the
Аляску.
translator? Give it a sec.
Вполне логично встретиться именно здесь, ведь наши страны, хоть нас и разделяют океаны, на самом деле близкие соседи. И я, когда мы встретились, вот, вышли из самолетов, я так сказал: добрый день, дорогой сосед, очень приятно видеть вас
Wait for the
в
translator.
добром здравии и живым. И
Oh, look at that. They're
по-соседски это
giving each other
очень
cute little looks and stuff.
звучит,
Aw.
по-моему,
I hope they both get tattooed.
по-доброму.
I think that's some
Нас разделяет только
kind words
Берингов
that we can
пролив,
say
да
to
и
each
то,
other.
там два
We're
острова
separated by the Strait of
между
Bering, though there are two islands
российским
only
и
between the Russian
американским
island
островом.
and
Yes.
the U.S. island. They're only 4 kilometers apart. We're
Thank you
close
for the super
neighbors,
chat.
and it's a fact.
С Аляской связана
It's also
значительная
important
часть
that
общей
Alaska
истории.
has to do with our common heritage, common history between Russia and the U.S., and many positive events have to do with that territory. Still, there is tremendous cultural heritage back from the Russian America. For example,
here's the
Orthodox
propaganda,
churches
blah, blah, blah.
and a lot of more than 700 geographical names of Russian origin.
Второй мировой войны
During the
именно на
Second World War, it was here in Alaska that was the origin of the legendary air bridge for the supply of military aircraft and other equipment under the Land-Lease program.
опасный,
It was a
сложный
dangerous and treacherous route
громадными ледяными
over the
пространствами.
vast
Но летчики
emptiness of ice. However, the pilots of both countries did everything to bring closer the victory. They risked their lives and they gave it all for the common victory.
в городе Магадане.
I was just in the city of Magadan in Russia, and there is a memorial there dedicated to the Russian and the U.S. pilots.
Российский
And there are two flags, the U.S. flag and the Russian flag. And I know that here as well, there is such a memorial.
всего несколько километров
It's
отсюда.
partially, I mean,
There
that
is a military
largely
burial
true,
place
folks, I will
several
say.
kilometers away from here.
Выполнение
Can't believe I
The
said that
Soviet
about
pilots
Putin.
are buried there who died during that dangerous mission. We're thankful to the citizens and the government of the U.S. for carefully taking care of their memory. I think that's very worthy and noble. We'll always remember other historical examples when our countries defeated common enemies together in the spirit of battle camaraderie and allyship that supported each other and facilitated each other. I'm sure that this heritage will help us rebuild and foster mutually beneficial
think
and
he's
equal
thinking about
ties
who to send to El
at this
Salvador
new
in the room?
stage, even during the hardest
Как
conditions.
известно, российско-американские
It is
встречи в
known that
верхах
there have
не
been
проводились более
no
4 лет.
summits between Russia and the U.S. for 4 years, and that's a long time. This time was very hard for bilateral relations, and let's be frank, they've fallen to the lowest point since the Cold War. I think that's not benefiting our countries and the world as a
Очевидно,
whole.
что рано или поздно
Hey guys, I lowered the audio of the video. Does this sound better, or should I turn up the? Maybe I need to turn up the mic a little bit. Let me see. Give me 1 second here. 1 second here. Doing this all on the fly. Okay, is that better, folks? Well, let's hear now. Let's listen to
It
this.
is apparent that sooner or later we had to amend the situation to move on from the confrontation to dialogue. And in this case, a personal meeting between the heads of state has been long overdue. Naturally, under the condition of serious and painstaking work, and this work has been done in general. Me and President Trump have very good direct contact. We've spoken
Oh, I'm sure you
multiple
do.
times. We
Very
spoke
direct
frankly
contact.
on the
know what I
phone.
mean.
And Special Envoy of the President, Mr. Witkoff, traveled out to Russia several times. Our advisors and heads of foreign ministries kept in touch all the time. And you know fully well that one of the central issues was the situation around Ukraine. We see the strive of the administration and President Trump personally to help facilitate the resolution of the Ukrainian conflict. And his strive to get to the crux of the matter, to understand this history, is precious. As I've said, the situation in Ukraine has to do with fundamental threats to our security. Moreover, we've always considered the Ukrainian nation, and I've said it multiple times, a brotherly nation, however strange it may sound in these conditions. We have the same roots, and everything that's happening is a tragedy for us and terrible wound. Therefore, the country is sincerely interested in putting an end to it. At the same time, we're convinced that in order to make the settlement lasting and long-term, we need to eliminate all the primary roots, the primary causes of that conflict. And we've said it multiple times, to consider all legitimate concerns of Russia and to reinstate a just balance of security in Europe and in the world on the whole. And I agree with President Trump, as he has said today, that naturally the security of Ukraine should be ensured as well. Naturally, we are prepared to work on that. I would like to hope that the agreement that we've reached together will help us bring closer that goal and will pave the path towards peace in Ukraine. We expect that Kiev and European capitals will perceive that constructively and that they won't throw a wrench in the works. They will not make any attempts to use some backroom dealings to conduct provocations to torpedo the nascent progress. Incidentally, when the new administration came to power, bilateral trade started to grow. It's still very symbolic. Still, we have a growth of 20%. As I've said, we have a lot of dimensions for joint work. It is clear that the U.S. and Russian investment and business cooperation has tremendous potential. Russia and the U.S. can offer each other so much in trade, digital, high-tech, and in space exploration. We see that Arctic cooperation is also very possible. And our international context, for example, between the Far East of Russia and the West Coast of the U.S. Overall, it's very important for our countries to turn the page, to go back to cooperation. It is symbolic that not far away from here, at the border between Russia and the U.S., there is a so-called international date line. I think you can step over, literally, from yesterday into tomorrow. And I hope that we'll succeed in that, in political sphere. I would like to thank President Trump for our joint work, for the well-wishing and trustworthy tone of our conversation. It's important that both sides are result-oriented, and we see that the President of the U.S. has a very clear idea of what he would like to achieve. He sincerely cares about prosperity of his nation. Still, he understands that Russia has its own national interests. I expect that today's agreements will be the starting point, not only for the solution of the Ukrainian issue, but also will help us bring back business-like and pragmatic relations between Russia and the U.S. And in the end, I would like to add one more thing. I'd like to remind you that in 2022, during the last contact with the previous administration, I tried to convince my previous American colleague that the situation should not be brought to the point of no return when it would come to hostilities. And I said it quite directly back then that it's a big mistake. Today, when President Trump saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war.
So I have no doubt he's annoyed, right?
Quite sure that it would indeed be so. I can confirm that. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good business-like and trustworthy contact. And I have every reason to believe that moving down this path, we can come, and the sooner the better, to the end of the conflict in Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President.
Here we go.
Very profound, and I will say that I believe we had a very productive meeting. There were many, many points that we agreed on, most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite gotten there, but we've made some headway. So there's no deal until there's a deal. I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate, and I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting. It's ultimately
Where is he,
up
Trump?
to them.
Why wasn't he here?
They have to agree with what Marco and Steve and some of the great people from the Trump administration who've come here, Scott, and John
You guys are
Radcliffe. Thank you very much. But we have some of our really great leaders. They've been doing a phenomenal job. We also have some tremendous Russian business representatives here, and I think everybody wants to deal with us. We've become the hottest country anywhere in the world in a very short period of time, and
yeah, because of climate change.
We look forward to that. We look forward to dealing. We're going to try and get this over with. We really made some great progress today. I've always had a fantastic relationship with President Putin, with Vladimir.
Is that why your lips are puckered so much? All that making out?
Many tough meetings, good meetings. We were interfered with by the Russia hoax. That made it a little bit tougher to deal with, but he understood it. I think he's probably seen things like that during the course of his career. He's seen it all. But we had to put up with the Russia hoax. He knew it was a hoax, and I knew it was a hoax. But what was done was very criminal. But it made it harder for us to deal as a country in terms of the business and all of the things that we'd like to have dealt with. But we'll have a good chance when this is over. So just to put it very quickly, I'm going to start making a few phone calls and tell them what happened. But we had an extremely productive meeting, and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few that are left. Some are not that significant. One is probably the most significant. But we have a very good chance of getting there. We didn't get there, but we have a very good chance of getting there. I would like to thank President Putin and his entire team, who I know in many cases, other than that, whose faces I get to see all the time in the newspapers. You're almost as famous as the boss, but especially this one right over here. But we had some good meetings over the years, right? Good, productive meetings over the years, and we hope to have that in the future. But let's do the most productive one right now. We're going to stop really 5, 6, 7,000, thousands of people a week from being killed. And President Putin wants to see that as much as I do. So, again, Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much. And we'll speak to you very soon and probably see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Next time in Moscow.
I love you.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
I love you, Vladimir.
I'll get a little heat on that one, but I could see it possibly happening. Thank you very much, Vladimir. And thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Are you going to answer questions?
As we wait to see if the president will take any questions from the room.
It appears he is not. Oh, well, that's disappointing. Well,
there you have it. Vladimir Putin first addressing
folks.
reporters, then President Trump addressing
folks.
reporters as
That
well.
was the quickest presser
talking
I've ever
about.
All right, here, I'm going to go back to full screen here. I don't think we're going to get much more out of that. Scared of the press, probably. Let's take a look here, what I can do. Face screen here. All right. Okay, folks, what do we think of that? What do we think of that, all that disturbing nonsense? Let me take a look here at the chat. Yeah, it was, Bettina, you're right. It was basically a non-event. Someone in the Discord actually kind of predicted that. Oh, who was it? Are you here? Whoever it was in the Discord sent me the video showing that Trump basically said that we will only have a ceasefire after the second meeting or whatever. But that was definitely kind of a nothing burger. Let me hear what we got here. We got great comments. Yeah, hot as in going to hell in a handcart. Yeah, Louise, absolutely. Mosman, yep, definitely. Does he even, let's see, does he even say anything? No, it's always a word salad. Do you remember when Trump was talking about, he's like, the press, they say I weave. I'm always weaving things together in my words. I'm a great weaver. It's kind of like you do realize that they weren't complimenting you, Trump. You're you moron. Yeah, you weave. You don't even say anything. You just kind of mumble. Anyway. Trump will say, yeah, Grace, Trump will say he reveal all if he gets the Nobel Peace Prize. You're absolutely right. He's obsessed with that. Yeah, Bartholomew, I'm with you there. This is getting painful. It was painful. I'm kind of glad they put us out of our misery by having it go so quickly. Duke Togo, love this. Good, beautiful, productive meetings. Yes, beautiful indeed. Thank you, dude. That's fantastic. That's exactly very Trump. Okay. Trump is going to adopt Putin's hair care routine. Yeah, maybe. Okay. LOL. Putin wants to end it. Yep. Almost certainly. Bettina, his tone is like a not so good job interview. That's a great comparison. Alice say, wow, is this a record quickest presser ever? It certainly seemed like it. Alice say, oh, he's mad. Yep. Oh, I don't know which one you're talking about because they both are. Yeah, please do go back to Russia. Did we hear how Putin said, oh, next time we'll be meeting in Moscow? I'm sorry, I made him sound like Trump. Maybe that was a Freudian slip. Yeah, because that would very much make Putin legitimize Putin's brutality and stuff if they met in Moscow. So of course he wants that. And you know how much Trump loves military parades and shit, so he'll probably go and do it. Yeah, that's it, I guess, for a moment. I was not expecting it to go that quickly. What else we got here? Well, what was that? Fair question, Louise. We don't know. Trump, yeah, you're right, Macy. I love that. Macy Schroeder says Trump used all of his words. Maybe those are the only words he actually knows. So he's like, well, I've used them all. Don't know what else to do. Okay, shut. I learned that Trump can count down from 3. Shocking, really. I mean, very good point. His hands are so small. I don't know how he could, he probably can't even use them to count to 5, or 10, I guess. Um, Wendy says, "Stop sniffing taco." Brilliant, Wendy. Brilliant. Um, okay. Oh yeah, Alan. Thank you, Alan. Yes, you're the one who shared that video. Thank you for that. I'm a great weaver. Yes, thank you, Duke Togo. Real life cat DJ. I need a shower after that. I think we all do. All right. I mean, heck, I don't even need a shower. Someone just spray me with a flamethrower. I really need to make sure that there's nothing left on me. Blah blah blah. Absolutely, Wendy. Mosman, I'm going to go down. It's going to go down in the history as a turning point, surpassing even the Camp David Accords. We'll see, Mosman. We'll see. Grace Abrams, I'm so glad it ended quickly, like a night with Melania. Okay, shut. They haven't been together in a few years, so they blew. I don't know if I should say that out loud. Yeah, they let's put it this way, they climaxed pretty quick just to get back at it again after the separation of a few years back. Okay, Sir Bartholomew, absolutely. Wendy, so Putin told him to F off. Yeah, it's unclear so far. Trump, he basically said, we've had a tough meeting, but we've made some progress. Not, I don't know. That's all very unclear. Uh, I agree, Louise. Yeah, my subscribers are the best. That's all the crew in here. A lot of them, I've been with them through multiple live screens and some different changes of my life as well. So we all, yeah, okay. Going too fast. Going too fast to see the sarcasm. Yeah, yeah. Um, Oh, I'm sorry, Mose man. I'm sorry. You're right. That I should have noticed you're being sarcastic. Okay, you're definitely not. Yeah, definitely a nothing burger. Mosman, I wondered. Yeah, you guys are right. I'm sorry. I was a bit slow there. Yeah. Hey, Macy, you're right. I'm glad that they kept their hands and mouths off the mic. Okay. Well, folks, there you go. That was the nothing burger it was. Thank you all for joining. Does anyone want to chat about anything? Do we got anything you want to talk about in chat? I can chat for a few more minutes, perhaps, if anyone's interested. Um, yeah. We do have a super chat goal right now. We already got one. If we get to 5, I'll put on the jester hat. I don't really have anything else planned to talk about officially, but there we go. delicious low-cal air sandwich. Share the best recipe for lasagna. I make pretty good lasagna, Tiago. Okay, I really do. I gotta make compliment myself there. Okay, family's partially Italian, so uh, make some good lasagna. Actually, weirdly enough, I had lasagna for dinner. It was actually zucchini lasagna, so we didn't use I didn't use noodles, but hey. Uh, all right, folks. Thank you for stopping by with me. Um, I will do a live stream tomorrow. Okay. Uh, yeah. Oh, Macy, you're right. My dad would get on me for that. We're Sicilian. We're not Italian. Moscow, Wendy, Moscow has beautiful windows. Yeah, I know, right? I'm sure a lot of those Russian delegation in that front row were very much had that on their mind. Like, am I going to end up accidentally falling out of a window if I don't say what Putin wants? Okay. Yeah. Hey, Tiago, I feel you there. Okay. Thank you for the stream. Have a great night. You too, Shut. Okay. Love seeing you. Winterlinde. Oh, I missed you today. Hey, Winterlinde. Guten, what time is it there? Good to see you, Winterlinde. Oh, I missed you today. Have you seen the letter Senator Martin sent to a few Western Canadian provinces? No, I haven't. I will look that up. I'm kind of scared to look it up. If there's anyone in the chat from Canada, I apologize in advance for whatever that letter might have said. Winterlinde, okay, 1:15 a.m. So yeah, gute Nacht, I guess, right? Gute Abend. I don't know if I'd say that's Abend. That's definitely Nacht. Okay, gute Nacht. Yeah, you're welcome, Grace. I'm glad to be here to help everyone, to ease everyone through that presser. Hey, thank you, Mosman, really, for the super chat. Really nice of you. Um, Thank you. Sorry about the loss of your job, Mosman. I'm still kind of coming to terms with not being able to see my students again. It was rough, but really, thank you. I will get through it though, and this is actually might be a good opportunity for me to. I'm focusing more on the channel, doing more live streams, so it might be a good thing. Yes, gute Nacht, Winterlinde. Dear Truck Beer, Texas, Texas, Texas. Love the handle. Okay, love it. My history teacher quit because of the Trump administration. Would you give me some more details about that? What about the Trump administration made your history teacher quit? By the way, love beer. So, I guess my inner German coming out there. Um, all right, very good, everyone. So I never know everyone. Don't forget about the suffering of the people in Ukraine. Their country is currently under vicious attack by their imperialist neighbor. Thank you, everyone who stopped by. Let's see, what time is it even? Here it is 7 p.m. I was actually, folks. I know I keep making it sound like I'm about to end. Hey, I would love to work in a museum. That'd be great, Grace Abrams. By the way, do I pronounce museum correctly? I'm from the Midwest, and I've noticed that I will often say museum. It's a Midwestern thing. I should probably say museum. I think that's the correct way to do it. 6:17 there. Excellent. Let's say I'm apparently late this time. Hey, Long Beach Dragon, I missed you today, Long Beach Dragon. Hey, I know you probably got work and stuff, but I didn't see you in stream earlier. Always love your commentary. I love you too, Grace Abrams. Okay, love you too. Now I will say, folks, I was actually considering playing a video game on live stream. I don't know who all would be interested in that. That might be more of a generational thing. I love video games. I'm not going to do it tonight, but maybe eventually I will do a live stream of video game. We can just kind of chill. I can play a video game. We can chat. Yeah, the whole crew is here. Long Beach Dragon. We got Alice A, Winterlinde, Grace Abrams. We got a few new folks too. And Mozman, we've actually seen Mozman a few times now too. Who else we got in here? Shut, of course, as always. Macy, as always. Yeah, all the whole crew is together again. Okay, and Braden, of course, had to leave a bit early, but great to see you guys here. Yeah, he is working. And by the way, as I keep saying, Braden is a hero. He works in a homeless shelter. Real great guy there. I don't know if he, she, or they are a guy, but I'm assuming. Well, yeah, I think he is a guy. But oh, Bruh Moment, I am so sorry, Bruh Moment. Bruh Moment is here too. Bruh Moment also one of the originals. I will tell you the originals here that are in chat. You've noticed how our Discord server is growing fairly quickly. I do want to say I do have I'm dead honest when I say this. I got a special place in my heart for all of you. You guys have been here. Most of you have been here since the beginning or near the beginning. And we haven't known each other for very long, but boy, has there been a lot that's happened in that time. Love you all. Linda, I will look into it. That is very curious. Yeah, Lay Lane. Is Lay Lane here? Is she I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a she, but how dare you forget? I know. I'm sorry, Alice. I do apologize. Grace Abrams. Grace Abrams is kind of an original too. Grace Abrams has been here for a while. Grace Abrams, if you go to the, I don't think I included it in the description on this live stream, but if you go to the Long Beach Dragon, by the way, also definitely an original. Long Beach Dragon and Alice A were some of my first members, actually. So thank you for that. Ooh, Long Beach Dragon. I haven't done the striptease yet, but hey, if you guys can get, I really should. I have no problem taking my shirt off. Okay, I don't really have like I'm not like concerned about you all seeing me shirtless, but if I could get I mean, I could totally exploit that though, right? I could monetize sexualizing myself. Anyway, hey, thank you, Mayo. Really, thank you. Respect you for sticking with your morals. I think you'll do great with YouTube. Thank you, Mayo. Really, thank you for that super chat. Really appreciate it. Anything for our cult leader? Oh, please, you know, Alice A. That's the last thing I want. Okay. Um, there you go. I'm always telling you, don't believe me. Okay, don't trust everything I say. Think for yourselves, of course. OnlyFans when? Hey, I seem to be getting a lot of feedback about that. Maybe I should start an OnlyFans. I don't know. What did real life cat? A hot teacher in the house. Thank you, real life cat teacher. I don't think I've told you guys all the stories of students. It is not pleasant when this happens. You can imagine it's quite terrifying for a teacher. But I would have students like leave me notes and stuff. Well, I don't want to go into it, but you can imagine. Um, what did I walk into? Jay Shadow, I don't even know anymore. Okay. You walked into a hot mess, both politically and with the chat. I know, Alice. I know. Okay. Yeah, the Long Beach Dragon. Okay, guys. Well, what else we got here? Layout. Oh, Jay. Yeah, bruh moment. I actually like the sound of that, right? Imagine the plug at the end of the videos. Find me on Insta, TikTok, Discord, and OnlyFans. Woo! You're right, Tiago. I was kind of teaching how to say museum, not museum, which is kind of what I say as an Ohioan, right? Uh, link in bio. um, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone had said that they wanted to join the Discord server. If you go back to one of my past live streams, not this one, I did not put it in the description this time because I kind of started it so quickly. You'll be able to find that link there. It'll be at the bottom of the description. What do they call? Grace Abrams says, "Why do they call a tank top a wife beater?" So Grace Abrams, I suspect it. Who would have thought? I suspect it has some very sexist, misogynistic background to it. But I don't know. Um, but it's interesting because I do that occasionally because when I was younger, that's what people called them. They called them wife beaters. But I thought about it as I got older. I'm like, I bet there's a story there, and I don't really want to know about it. Uh, Ohio exists, Tiago. I always thought it was like far, far away, but bad. Hey, I'm not going to argue with there, Tiago. I will say though, in defense of Ohio, there's cities like Columbus, which is a fantastic city, massively liberal, one of the largest cities in the country, very open to the LGBTQ community. But you're right, rural Ohio, other places in Ohio have turned red over the years. So yeah, okay. Um, Hey, thank you, Lee Martin. Thank you for becoming a resistor. For anyone who's interested, we do have a membership program for as low as 99 cents a month. Hi, guys, I am never going to get used to having to do like ads for this. Anyway, yeah, you can, if you want to become a member, you can become a member for little as 99 cents a month. If you go to my page and click the join button, I also now have a Patreon. There's not much on there now, but I have a couple people who have signed up for Patreon for $5 a month. You can become a supporter of the channel. I'm working on actually creating content for those things, so there is actually more that you'll get. Shut. Shut says, "Shill for me, daddy. Beg me for the money." Oh, I know. That's kind of how I feel sometimes. Okay. Can't anyone name all the 50 states? Curious. Yeah, I know, Grace Abrams. Don't remind me that JD Vance is from Ohio. Okay. I just feel bad for that couch. Anyway. Uh, hey, I understand, Wendy. And I get that. Okay. I know. Some folks are starting into watching streams of people playing video games. I get that. Long Beach Dragon. The word I apparently pronounce wrong is lawyer. I pronounce it as lawyer, but apparently most people pronounce it closer to lawyer. Oh, hey, I say lawyer too. I think you're right though. Lawyer actually makes more sense English wise. Well, I just learned something new. Okay. Uh, Long Beach Dragon, you're pronouncing it correctly. It's well, okay. Maybe we're not okay. Get a soundboard and pre-record yourself advertising. Jay Shadow, that's actually a great idea. I will say, soundboards can be a bit expensive, and at the moment, as I'm sure you can all guess, I'm trying to uh, not spend that much money. But yeah, eventually I will definitely do that. Um, uh, yes, Shut says, sorry, I think I got a contact high from Resident Union Thug. Hey, I feel you there. Maybe that's what I'll do after this. Okay. Um, Tiago, that's not what I was saying, but yeah, thank you though for thank you for advertising for me there. Okay, this has been Grace Abrams. This is a very therapeutic session. I was honestly scared to watch this conference. Hey, me too. You guys noticed? You can kind of tell when I'm nervous because well, you probably could tell at the beginning. I was kind of terrified about what would be happening in this press conference, but I'm glad it didn't it didn't go very much to say. It's safe to say a marketing agency didn't come up, Moseman, didn't come up with the term wife beater. Yeah. I'm not sure I could say the term was coined within the past through years. Yeah. There's a German YouTuber, Winterlinde. There's a German YouTuber who lives in Cincinnati. She made a video about when we Germans think about the USA, right? Uh, what we Germans think about the USA. That's interesting. I'm going to look into that. I really like watching videos of people from outside the United States talking about their views of the United States. I found it quite interesting, folks. A lot of people from outside the United States have a better understanding of what's happening in the United States than Americans do. I'm just going to be honest with you, partially because our media is corrupt and very much in bed with a lot of the establishment politicians. Um, yeah, yeah, good point, Jay Shadow. Good point. Grace Moseman, German in Venice is a fun channel. Also, oh, I'll take a look at that too. Um, Long Beach Dragon. I even remember the capitals of each of the states. Long Beach Dragon. I am proud of you. Right, I would give you an A plus if I see now, folks. Now that we talk about OnlyFans and stuff, whenever I make comments like this, I feel like it's a weird role play. Okay, like oh, good job, Long Beach Dragon. You get an A plus for that. Anyway, okay. Uh, you don't need special equipment yet. Let us grow. Hey, thank you, LSA. Bruh moment. Bruh moment. Shut. Are you always this horned up? Just curious. I'll take it as a compliment. Let's put it that way. All right. Uh, listen, team, we got to help the boss. Shut says, listen, team, we got to help the boss buy a new tech thing like that. He said, oh, yo, shut up, shut. Okay. I did not. That was not my intention, folks. Well, anyway. Well, I mean, but if you do want to do, okay, no, I'm kidding. Okay, uh, it's okay. It's still a work day. Yep. Um, bruh moment. Manufacturing consent. So, bruh moment. Many of you won't believe me. There actually are, I think, are a couple people in the chat that know that this is true because I had a couple of people in the chat I know IRL. I actually met with Noam Chomsky. I had lunch with him. When I was in Boston because of the research I was doing. I love Noam Chomsky. He's now living in Arizona. Um, but Noam Chomsky, brilliant man, probably the greatest living academic of our time. Very funny guy too in person. He has a very dark sense of humor. When I was meeting with him, he was laughing about drone strikes, but like in a dark way. He was kind of like, and then and then Obama launched drone strikes, like very dark sense of humor. Um, anyway, love Noam Chomsky. Hey, Tiago, I'm sure it is. Tiago, where are you from? I know you've told me. I'm sorry if I can't remember. Our media is very strange, okay? I don't know if you guys have ever seen like Russian state TV or something, and there are a lot of similarities. That would be a partially a European country that has sort of similar broadcasting that we do. Honestly, it's not as extreme as Russia, but we do have a lot of our media companies. They're not directly controlled by the government, but they're very much in bed with them a lot. Especially Fox News, but the other big ones too. Um, Long Beach Dragon. This is the whole new meaning to the song "Hot for Teacher." Oh, this is shut. Okay, okay, yeah, okay, folks. Bro, moment, nah, shut. You're good. If you ever hung out with me in person, you know I'd have zero filter. I would hope so, fo. I would hope most of you have zero filter. That's what I imagine in my head. Okay, because I know you're all a bunch of degenerates in real life. uh, Portugal. That's right, Tiago. I'm sorry, from Portugal. Um, a beautiful place, by the way. Would love to visit. Um, yeah, interestingly, Tiago, I know that in Portugal they actually allowed recreational drug use. They sort of decriminalized a lot of drugs and things like that. I've heard mixed results. I've read about I've heard read different articles. Um, j- that showed mixed results for that. I'm curious if you ever want to comment on that. I'd like to hear what you've noticed. But anyway, uh, I lost my filter years ago. I get that. Um, Tiago, uh, you know what, Tiago? I have well, not many. I have a few friends who are from Spain. I don't actually have any friends from Portugal, but I know you're making a joke about sort of American geographic knowledge. But I will say your humor is very similar to some of the Spaniards I know. Okay, I love it. Um, yeah, well, hey, that's a good thing, Alice. Hey, now I can make the degenerate jokes and I can make those jokes because I no longer am employed. Uh, yeah, I think Louise, I like that idea, calling it a vest or a singlet. I think that's a good idea. Um, Thank you, bro. Moment. Yes, you're right. You're right. I should be more classy in my approach to insulting all of you. I actually use the more sophisticated term for degenerate known as debauchery and decadence for the record revolt. Good day, sir. Thank you, bro. Moment, for that very astute observation. I salute all the degenerates. Grace Abrams, Trump calls. Oh, I'm sorry. This is why you shouldn't vape. Grace Abrams, Trump calls the Queen of Denmark to lose her filter, and she mocked his mouth movements, mouth movements. I don't want to say mouth movements. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we are kind of tacky over here, Louise. Thank you, Alice, for pointing that out. Very sophisticated over there in the UK, unless of course you're from like Kent or Essex or something. I know the stereotypes. Okay, I'm just messing with you, Louise. But yeah, I love UK's great. I've been there. I was there once. I was actually doing research in London. I love London. Um, uh, Tiago, thank you for responding to me about the drugs. The results are good overall. What we did was to say it's not a crime to have a few grams with you, so you cannot traffic, but you can consume because we see addiction as an illness. Tiago, folks, let's show some love to Tiago in the chat. I think most of us would agree with that. Addiction is an illness, and we have way over criminalized it in the United States, resulting in our prisons being full of people who have an illness. And there are much better ways to deal with that. And Portugal is a shining example of what can be. Um, Take the gold paint away, my God. Uh, have you seen our new Oval Office? Alice, I love it. I love you, Alice. You're the best. Bruh, moment. As I gotten older, my accent has started kicking in. Being mixed and having a normal accent weave in and out with a southern one is an interesting experience in public. Hey, that actually sounds kind of cool to me. Yeah. Andoni, I'm just waiting for our new ballroom boys. Hell yeah, ball time. Andoni, I'm sorry. Like I said, I think yesterday, I just keep thinking of the Palace of Versailles, and we all know what happened in France after that was built. And here we got Trump building this massive ballroom in the White House, flaunting the wealth and such, while millions of Americans are struggling. Yeah. So, at least they get to dance in that great new ballroom that Trump is creating, right? At least all those wealthy elites get to dance there. Hopefully, one day there will be socialists dancing in that ballroom. Anyway, uh, okay. Long Beach Dragon. Um, a faux Fox News, I love that, host got all bent over Newsom saying Abbott rolled over for Trump, saying it was cruel because Abbott is in a real chair. God. So the feeling of the channel, like your feelings got all melty. Geez, the brilliance. I love it. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Jay Shadow. Yeah, okay, that's probably what Melania is going to do someday. There's going to be a group of Americans outside waving pitchforks and such, and she's going to be like, "Oh, we'll just let them eat the cake." Well, in Trump's case, in her case, it'll probably be let them have a Big Mac. Okay. Uh, anyway, yeah. Um, it doesn't, Tiago. You say that you have free healthcare, but it doesn't work. I'm curious. I do know that Portugal is not the wealthiest country in Europe. I know there's some issues there economically, but I'm curious to hear what your observations are. Hey, I will say at least you have free healthcare, given that we don't. Okay. The Rose Garden patio. Yeah. Hey, yeah, Grace, good. It's best that you don't. Okay, it's best that you don't take drugs, alcohol, or smoke. It's much better for your health. And yeah, I agree. It should be legal everywhere. I, on the other hand, do partake occasionally. But I do know it's unhealthy. Regardless, yeah, I understand that. It's probably the better choice. Um, but hey, given what's happening in the country, um, yeah. Uh, Like, what is that? I know, Alice. Nothing wrong with the French. They're great at protesting. Oh, that is for sure. We need to get some French folks on here, some of those orange vest protesters on here to talk about how they do it, because the French populace is renowned for the ease at which it rises up. I'm not saying that as an insult, but I mean they hold their government deeply accountable. Um, and I wish I think America used to have that sort of spirit of protest. I mean, we were founded in a massive act of protests, but over time it's sort of diminished. I wish we would get back to that. Um, uh, Laylane, hey, good to see you, Laylane. Sir Bartholomew, thank you for the super chat. The crimes this guilty land will never purged away, but with blood, I had, as I now think, vainly flattered myself. Oh, beautiful. Uh, that is a quote, folks, from John Brown. I really, everyone like that comment that Sir Bartholomew just sent. John Brown, one of my heroes, should be a hero for all people everywhere. Sacrificed his life in the effort to free Black American slaves in a heroic attempt, almost certainly knowing he would die in the process. I mean, yeah, and was very close to being successful. Very good. Again, I've mentioned this before, but white Americans, there are not a lot of heroes that white Americans can look to that have not committed terrible crimes. Okay, we just got to be honest with you. Okay, in our history, like George Washington, he had his mouth, he had a wooden jaw, and in that jaw were the teeth taken from. Well, it wasn't a wooden jaw, but he had a jaw, and in that jaw there were teeth taken from slaves and animals and stuff. Thomas Jefferson, also a slave owner, but I think John Brown is an excellent. I think every group needs heroes that look like them, and John Brown would be one of those heroes that we really ought to get out there. Okay. I wish I could smoke. Unfortunately, it makes my anxiety go nuts. Plus, I'm a slave to Big Pharma. I got you there. As a matter of fact, Big Pharma heavily resisted legalizing marijuana because they knew that for many people, it would make it so that they no longer required certain medications. That's a long story, but and by the way, marijuana is very much an American tradition. I know I just mentioned Washington, but Washington grew hemp. Jefferson grew hemp. Hemp and marijuana production has long been a staple American crop. Um, It is Long Beach Dragon. Ohio has legalized recreational marijuana. We did it through a ballot initiative. We went around Congress. One of the cool things about Ohio, there are very few states that allow the populace to pass a bill without going through the legislature. And in Ohio, you can do that. If you get enough signatures, you can have the people vote on something and they will pass it, even if the politicians don't want it. So that's what happened in Ohio. Um, it's one of the things I love about Ohio is that part of our Constitution. Tiago, I am all there for that. Okay. I actually was looking up if we could have a chill stream sometime where we all partake of whatever we want to partake and just chat. That'd be fantastic. Um, Bruh moment, LSA, I am too. I'm dependent on my antidepressants. Hey guys, I got to tell you, I have clinical depression. I've had it for many years. I've taken antidepressants for a very long time. I feel you there. Okay, I'm doing. I'm doing remarkably well. I don't want you to think it's terribly. It's like the meds have helped very much so over a long period. It kind of runs in my family too, but yeah, I get that. Uh, Bleeding Kansas moment. Yeah, bro moment, you are on fire tonight with these historical references, as is Sir Bartholomew. You all know how to get in my head, and you know what makes me happy to hear. Um, yeah, you're right, Grace Abrams. That is a song. Oh, bro moment. Thank you also for mentioning William Lloyd Garrison, another amazing hero, very brilliant guy, massive anti-slavery advocate. Um, did really fantastic things. Okay. Um, Good to know. Right? Okay. Well, thank you, Tiago. That's very nice of you. Okay. Tiago says, there are nice things about Ohio besides you, obviously. Thank you, Tiago. Yeah, there really are. For example, the city Columbus is a fantastic city, very liberal. Has really great food scene, by the way. Columbus is ranked as one of the best food scenes in the country. Um, Also, a very nice place for the LGBTQ community. Yeah, and there are places in Ohio that are fantastic. Overall, though, yeah, we do have some issues with our politics here. I will say Ohio is also a very beautiful state. Weirdly enough, we've been pretty good at maintaining a lot of the greenery in Ohio. Um, so wasn't and I wasn't the demonization of marijuana tied to the Red Scare. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, it actually partially was. Oh, you know what, folks? We just reached. I will answer that in a second, and but we did. I am shocked. I was not expecting that would happen. Okay, well, I got to go get the hat then. Okay, 1 second. Right. So gosh, I just like flashed all of you my pit. I just apologize for that. I probably need to shave. Anyway, I guess some people though would probably prefer I not. Fine. Anyway, some people are into that sort of thing. Anyway, so Tiago, to answer your question, wasn't the demonization of marijuana tied to the Red Scare? It was partially. There was a lot of fear of that. I got to tell you though, in classic American fashion, one of the big reasons why marijuana was made legal is because the textile industry heavily lobbied against the hemp industry because they were competing to provide sort of the base material for textiles. The textile industry wanted to use cotton. The hemp industry wanted to use hemp, and the textile industry basically tried to demonize marijuana to make it to sort of beat out the hemp industry. So that is an issue. The drug industry also heavily invested in pushing against marijuana. But you're right, the Red Scare majorly had something to do with it. There was a fear that Americans would all be drugged out, and then if the Soviet Union invaded, that they wouldn't be able to fight effectively. So that, yeah, a lot of things like that came from the Cold War era. Jay Shadow, we are just chatting right now. I don't have anything planned. It was a very brief press conference. I thought it would go longer, so I'm just kind of chatting at the moment. I am also a bit tired because it's been a long day for me, but I am very much enjoying chatting. So we're not really going to do anything official here, at least not this time. But I will be doing another like official stream tomorrow where we'll cover some content and such. Um, Let me quickly. I'm going to actually I might as well make another super chat goal. Start another goal. And if it's okay, I'm not really expecting that we'll get there. I'm just going to do 5 more super chats. I'll put on the collar. Okay, start that goal. All right. Geez, this light keeps falling down for some reason. I need to really secure that. Okay, let me see what else we got here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, no, you are partially right, and Donnie. Yeah, Wendy, I don't forget Vance. Yeah, he's from Ohio. I apologize to everyone for that. Sorry. Okay. Goal. Yes, Alice A. We reached it. Bruh moment. And yes, partly also due to Mexican. That is actually. Oh, you know what? I forgot about that, bruh moment. Again, bruh moment. You're on the ball tonight. If you notice, we use the word marijuana. That was actually purposely done. The reason I sometimes say cannabis is I prefer the term because the term marijuana was sort of popularized because there was this thought that it made cannabis sound more foreign and more aligned it more with Mexico and stuff. So it is that term was sort of used as a sort of a racist dog whistle. Now it really, you can use the word marijuana. It isn't viewed that way by most people. Most people, when they use the word marijuana, they have no idea that it has sort of a Spanish origin word. But that was sort of the original intention, was to make it sound foreign and stuff. Black jazz musicians, yeah. Okay. Oh my God, you guys keep bringing up things I'm forgetting here. Sir Bartholomew is right. There was also a view that criminalizing weed, most American, I mean, a lot of the folks in the chat probably know this, but there has long been this association between the Black community in America and cannabis. And the thought was, if you make cannabis illegal, it gives the police much more opportunity to go after the Black community. And even today, even though the Black and white, but basically all racial groups use marijuana at a similar rate, the Black community is something like what 3 times as likely to be arrested for it. So there was also an aspect of this that has to do with race and policing. Um, yeah, you're right, Long Beach Dragon. California is another one of the states that does this. Most of the states do not do ballot initiatives. Long Beach Dragon says California does initiatives as well, which is effectively what the redistricting vote in November Newsom is calling for. Yeah, that's a good point. I can't remember which states exactly do the ballot initiatives, but there are a few, but not that many. Uh, Yes, Alice, I am doing so. I am not. I haven't made shorts yet. I have been making clips. If you notice today, I posted some clips from my last live streams, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to be clipping the video from today. So I am trying to create clips and get more views from those. And the good thing about those, I can monetize those. So during the live stream, I've been avoiding monetizing them. I think I may have monetized this one. I'm not sure because I want it to be a streamless, seamless experience for all of you. But I do clip them afterwards so that I can try and get some money out of that. Jay Shadow, do you have a schedule or plan on moving forward with your reaction content? Also, what do you plan doing original content? Also, do you plan on doing it? Yeah, absolutely. Would you tell me, Jay Shadow, what you mean by original content? Yeah. So yes, I do. I do not have a schedule yet. I will hopefully be streaming daily. That is a good idea, though. I probably should come up with a schedule to make it more regular. By the way, folks, I really appreciate all this advice. I think I've expressed to all of you I'm really new to this, and yeah, it's a very big learning curve. So thank you. I do appreciate the advice. Yeah, yes, and I am still doing reaction content. If you notice, yesterday I did a reaction video with my dad again on fascism. Now those videos can't be monetized because we are reacting to stuff. I did, however, Jay Shadow, if you mean, am I going to make videos like really high quality videos? I did because of my members. So thank you, Alice A. Thank you, Sir Bartholomew. Thank you, Shut. Who else? Long Beach Dragon. Thank you. Your memberships allowed me to buy the Adobe suite. So I am able to, I'm trying to learn it right now because it's pretty complicated. And then I'll hopefully be making some also high quality videos, more than just the live streams. Um, Here we go. Mario Lopez. I just wanted to pop in and say, all your recent videos have been very informing and appreciated. Thank you, Mario. Thank you very much. Sir Bartholomew, cannabis is legal in Canada. But there's no dispensary in my town because the council's a bunch of boomers. Hey, there are some towns in the USA who, in states that it has been legalized, who have then proceeded to ban it. Mainly, and they do typically have older populations. Collar play. Shut. You are. Oof. Okay, you need a cold shower tonight, don't you? Uh, Yeah, you're right, Jay Shadow. I think so too. I think there is a solid thing there. Jay Shadow, he has a few other videos that are original and has some React stuff. Yeah, you're right, Shut. But I think Jay Shadow, his point, I think, I could do more of that. Winterlinde in Germany, you can grow 3 plants per person, and a few other rules I don't know right now. Hey, that's great. I actually wasn't aware of the rules surrounding that in Germany. My cat says meow to yours, while my kitty says meow back. And one of my live streams, actually, if you listen close enough, you can hear Mac, which is the name of the cat in the background. Um, Hey, LSA, I deeply appreciate that. LSA says, we just don't want you to be homeless or something. We got to make YouTube work for you. I really appreciate that. Okay. Yeah. Like I've said, folks, I would love to do this full time. I am deeply enjoying it. I get a larger audience. I can say things that I would not be able to say in the classroom. Um, and I feel like I can do, this sounds self-aggrandized. I feel like I could do more good doing this. But yeah, so I am trying for that. Jay Shadow, like presentations, informative, kind of almost like you're teaching a class on Zoom. Oh, Jay Shadow, that's a good idea. I do kind of do that during the live streams. I actually have, like today, I did a live stream where I kind of taught about just war theory. I also did one on the hidden curriculum. So I do try some of that, but you're right. I think I could actually make some pretty high quality videos with the Adobe suite. Um, Doing that. Louise, you're doing great so far. Consider you've only been doing this for a short while. Thank you, Louise. I've been trying, okay? Uh, uh, Laylane, pop into the clips and like them, even if you watched it live. It helps with visibility. Thank you. You guys, you really are great. I hope you know that. Uh, Sometimes I nearly get emotional, but I'm a man, so I can't express emotions. No, thinking about how much you guys are really like showing how much you care, et cetera, and care about the content. So thank you very much for that. Louise, thank you. Okay. Yeah. Uh, Yeah, Alice, I didn't know that. Alice says, Louise, right? Most people stream forever before they can get this many concurrent viewers. So 30 plus is not bad at all. I didn't know that until about yesterday. I was talking to someone who knows more about this than I do, and they did a double take when I told them that I was getting like I think the highest I've gotten is 47 concurrent viewers. And to me, being a teacher, I've had classes that have 40 students in them, but I guess for a live stream that's not bad. Um, Long Beach Dragon, he needs the ice bucket challenge. LOL. Well, maybe we could do that. I think that'd probably very quickly turn into a wet t-shirt contest. But anyway, so all right. Uh Tiago, Tiago asks, will you react to more of the Jubilee debate with Mehdi? I have been getting a lot of people asking me to do that, and I know I have grown kind of tired of it, but just because of the demand for it, I might do that with my father. Yeah, very good point. Shut says, yeah, it makes me so happy that you were able to put some money towards this channel. I'm so excited to be here at the beginning of this very promising career. Oh, thank you, Shut. That's very kind of you. Jay Shadow. So vlogging through history and Mr. Terry history are the blueprint from reactions. I have not heard of those folks. I will look into that. Thank you for the advice. Actually, I'll make a note because I've been wanting to find some folks who are similar. All right, thank you for that, Jay Shadow. It's hard to keep attention here on the internet. Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Louise, a great Jay Shadow, great ideas. That's what engaged me when I first started watching. Thank you, Louise. I've heard that from a lot of folks that seeing my dad and I react to stuff is what sort of drew them in. Um, so if you know, folks, I had my dad in the live stream today. I had him stop by. I want to do a lot more with him. And by the way, you all probably also noticed too when I do the reaction videos with my dad, I kind of tone down my left wing stuff, and that's not because I am trying to hide it or anything. But my original goal for those videos was to sort of build bridges between generations. Um, and get like perspectives from various generations and things like that. And I really like it. It seems to be working pretty well because I got the age range that watches those videos is pretty more than other videos I do. Shut. You're gonna cry, you big baby, because if you are, that's okay. And we want to make space for it here. We may be degenerate, but we are kind. Thank you, Shut. You were on fire today, Shut. Um, uh, now we are a class/cult. Fair, Tiago. You're not a cult, okay? That is like one of my big. I've actually. There's someone in chat who I've spoken to this about. I won't say who, but I am like definitely afraid of what is it called? Parasocial relationships. I know that can happen on YouTube, like where people will be watching a content creator and they become very attached and they believe everything they say and things like that. I actually once volunteered for an organization called um, oh God, I can't even. My brain is dying. Uh, Something from religion. Oh Gosh, I can't think of it now. It's an organization that basically supported people who were trying to leave cults and religious affiliations and needed help with building community and kind of developing a secular lifestyle. I am deep. I That is something that worries me. But like I That's why, folks. By the end of all my videos, I always make sure to remind everyone: please think for yourselves. Do not, never just obedient. Never just think what I'm saying is true. Um, I do know Mr. Beat, J Shadow. Thank you. Um, I agree, Tiago. My father is very interesting. Okay, vlogging through history is also from Ohio. I do know that. Yeah, you're right, Winterlinda. They are not monetizable because it is oftentimes it is copyrighted content. I can't monetize those videos. But those videos are very useful at sort of getting new subscribers. So yeah, we'll join our cult. You all are going to start calling it a cult now, aren't you? Okay. Recovering from religion. That's what the name of that organization is. And for those who are religious in this chat, please don't think that means I think that people should leave their religions. I'm talking about folks who, for example, LGBTQ folks, other folks who were in very almost cult-like situations. Some of them are in regular religious situations, but they needed to get out of those. So thank you, Death Die Today, recovering from religion. Tiago, on the video about fascism and Trump, you mentioned that Nazis uh, discover that homosexuality is not a choice. Yeah, absolutely. So there, what was his name? Oh gosh, what was the guy's name? There was a scientist in Germany. The Nazis did some. They did. I would have to look up the exact names of these folks, but they did some science where the Nazis became quite curious about homosexuality, and they were trying to they were trying to figure out how they could sort of eliminate it from society. And they very quickly realized, oops, no matter what we do with this science, it's very obvious that homosexuality is not a choice. It is something that is either predetermined biologically or is developed before age 3. Um, and yeah, they and so they quickly buried that research, and that's when they realized, okay, then we should just exterminate them because can't do much about it. What is the? I could look him up for you real fast here. Let me look him up for you. Nazi. That's right. That's what it is. Carl Varnet was his name. There was a much more brilliant scientist who was actually had to leave Germany because he was a forerunner of uh, uh, transition surgery and stuff in Germany. And he had to flee. That's Hirschfeld, and then there was Karl Varnet. Was the name of the gentleman? He's a Nazi. Why do I keep calling him a gentleman? Yeah, he's the one who did those studies and determined that for the Nazis. Okay. Um, you are our leader with the hat. I know, right? Yeah. Um, Alisave, is that true? I'm honestly, maybe I'm ignorant. I didn't know that you could react to other one videos on YouTube. I mean, I think you can if they're like news articles and such. Um, Revolters cult. You are, yeah, geez, it's starting, folks. We need to develop rituals now. You know, I have a degree in anthropology, so we need to develop some rituals. Need to get some dogmas in here, and then I need to exploit all of you in some way. Okay. Seriously, that end minute or two of your speech on the importance of educating yourself and questioning everything is very inspiring and motivating. Thank you, Shut. Thank you. Death died today. I am an ex-Mormon. I wish I heard of recovering from religion earlier. It would have helped me a lot. Hey, Death died today. There are many folks out there like you. I understand that. I'm just going to say, Death died today. I know a little bit about who you are. I won't talk about it here, obviously, but I'm very proud of you for being able to get out of that. That is not easy, especially the Mormon community. The Mormon community is very close knit in a lot of places, um, and I'm very glad that you are here now and you are out of that situation. Um, Clip that out and make it as short. Bet it would do numbers. Yeah, that's a fair point. Maybe I should do that. Uh, okay, Jay Shadow. Nazis also started by burning books on. Yeah, you're right, Jay Shadow. And they actually, Weimar Germany was one of the most scientifically forward-thinking uh, um, societies in the world at the time before the Nazis took over. And this is actually a disturbing point, folks. So Weimar Germany, right before the Nazis took over, was absolutely one of the most culturally advanced. What I mean by that is they were a center of science and art and research into LGBTQ matters. There was an organization, I think it was called the Hirschfeld Foundation, who were pioneering in developing transition surgeries for transgender people, and they were way ahead of their time. Remember, folks, this is the 1930s. You think about in the United States today, there are all these people who get all up in their fifis and stuff about trans surgery, you know, or transition surgery and gender affirming surgery. But they were doing it in Weimar Germany, okay? And then the Nazis came to power, and one of the first things they did is they went to this foundation. They basically looted it, burned all the books, and banished the researchers, destroyed all that research, set us back, and we never got that research back. By the way, it was destroyed. So. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tiago. Here, let me write it down for you, okay? His name was. Uh, I'll put it in chat. Um, Gosh, this isn't the first Nazi name I've seen in chat today. All those trolls earlier. Carl Varnet was his name. There we go. Okay. Um, I'm all in for rituals and exploitation. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Folks, I actually went to a high, you of course all know I'm gay now. I went to a high school, a Catholic high school, and I'm not going to say the name of it, but that Catholic high school made national news because a few years after I left there, they fired a teacher when they found out she was in a same-sex relationship. So yeah, I would oftentimes get sent to the dean's office because I'd be arguing with the religion teacher. um, all right, a devout agnostic. I support that, Wendy. Um, Uh, Bettina, that is a fantastic. Oh, Bettina, by the way, Bettina is also a member. I didn't call out Bettina. Thank you, Bettina. You helped me purchase some software that'll allow me to make better videos. You're right, and I do need to do that. That's a great idea for an emoji. I need to look into how to do that. Um, Yeah, let's say I am a Catholic, but I'm pretty sure you would have to write a letter to formally denounce. No, I understand that. My family's Catholic. I've grown up a lot of Catholics. There are a lot of really good Catholic people, okay, and a lot of Catholics are actually pretty left. And historically, there have been a lot of very left-wing Catholics believe in social justice and such. Obviously, there's a lot of the opposite too, but yeah. I do know about actually, someone mentioned channel anthropology. Um, is that like the name of a channel? I'm looking. Uh, um, okay, sorry, I got a little distracted there by that question about the channel. Sorry, Tiago. The first transition was in the 30s, I think, in America. Um, Was it? I thought it was in Germany. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong about that. I believe the first transition was actually in Germany. It's really interesting. Also, we had a dictator in Poland. Poland. I'm sorry, Portugal. Do you want to know about him? Yeah, Salazar. Is that who you're referring to? I would like to hear more about him. Tell me about him. I do know quite a bit, but I am curious what you want to say about Salazar. Um, yeah, interesting character. Let's put it that way. Merci. Okay. Uh, Winterlinde, that was a big eye opener when I discovered they were far more advanced in the 1920s. Yeah, and this is one of the horrors of fascism. Winterlinde. And I'm sure Germany, great example of this. Germany before the Nazis took over had the world's greatest scientists, undoubtedly. Okay, some of the world's greatest scientists were doing some of the greatest research, and then Hitler comes along and just ruins all of that because all the scientists flee. A lot of that research goes with them, a lot of that science, and it was very destructive. Okay, I'm not telling you this. I'm sure you're aware of this, but I just yeah, um, that's one of the horrors of fascism. Yeah, I wouldn't put too many descriptors in your titles. I really think it triggers the trolls. Or say that's a fair point. It probably does. Uh, You're dead to me and evil genius is good. Okay. Sometimes I like the true crime stuff, I will say. I feel kind of bad about it. I think it's kind of exploitative in some ways. But I do like watching it occasionally. Interesting. Yeah. Buzzwords are great for titles. I agree. If you notice, I do occasionally I'll capitalize a word or I'll put in a buzzword like terrifying or something like that because I've read that was useful in getting some views. Bettina, I was raised Lutheran, but now I am a cataholic. That's fantastic. I love kitties. Yeah, we love kitties here. Um, oh, I am a real one, Bartholomew. Yeah, I am a D&D person. I know who Lathander is. Okay, so that means I'm a real one. I used to be a dungeon master. Okay, I'm the good Catholic. Yeah, I believe it. I'm sure you are. Um, what do we got here? Parents went crazy strict, forced us to go to church every Sunday until I was like 8, and my older sisters hit teen years. Yeah, Jay Shadow. I don't have much to add to that. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Uh, I don't know if it. Yeah, Alice, so I always say this. Alice says I'm basically a trad wife, but like the cool kind. Folks, I will say, I think that when a lot of I've heard some folks with good intentions sort of demonizing, for example, stay-at-home wives, mothers, and things like that. That to me is not the issue, right? Women should be able to choose to do whatever they want, and if they're okay with doing that, if that's something they want to do, if that's something they is necessary for them to raise their family or whatever, hey, more power to you. The issue is women should have the choice, right? And the same thing, men should have that choice. If a man wants to be stay at home, care for the kids or whatever, and I don't know what your situation is, Alice, I'm just saying. Um, I think there are some people who end up conflating that. They'll hear about a stay at home mom or whatever the case, and they will think automatically it's a situation of oppression or something like that. But if it's a situation where someone got to choose that and that's what they want to do, hey, more power to you. All about women being able to choose their own destiny. So, hey. Um, Little Iggy says, "Any totally hot babes in here?" Well, thank you. No, I'm kidding. I know you're not referring to me. Okay. There's the Eddie Redmayne film, Danish girl. Yeah, correct. Oh, was it in Copenhagen? Geez, I should know this. I'm just a gay guy. I should probably know this, Louise. Yeah. Yeah, Tiago, he did was able to keep Portugal out of the war. He saved us from the war, but sold our food to both sides, so we went hungry and off. A lot of monopolies on industry, poor educated. We had schools. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Long Beach Dragon. Oh, you're clever, Long Beach Dragon. I need to watch out for you. Okay, Long Beach Dragon says you're saying you were a dungeon master doesn't sound right after the discussion earlier. Oh, okay. If you love D&D so much, name five dungeons. What do you mean five dungeons? Like, oh, like realms, or you mean like it's been a while since I've done it, but um J Shadow character restrictions butchered my comment and I couldn't shorten it down. Hey, that's okay. Oh, thank you, Corbin. Very nice of you. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, thank you, Corbin. Um, Alice say, like I got a bunch of kids and I don't work, but my husband's got chores and does bedtime every night. I wish he would oppress me. You all are a bunch of degenerates. You know that? Have I mentioned that? You're all a bunch of degenerates. Okay. A literal oppress me daddy, says Jay Shadow. Um, my son's a stay-at-home dad. His wife has a great career. Yeah, absolutely. Right. People should be able to do what they choose to do, what they decide to do. Families need to do what they need to do. Right. And again, folks, I've said before, women and men who are raising kids should get paid for it, whether it be by the state or their businesses. I think that caring for kids is labor and it should be paid like labor. Um, you're right, bro, moment. I should stop using the phrase degenerate. That kind of has a Nazi ring to it, to be honest. Yeah, anyway. Louise, brought up Roman Catholic, Irish grandparents, but I knew about eight religions. But I knew by about eight, religion isn't for me. Hey, more power to you there, Louise. Um, I'm just messing with you. Okay, we should play D&D together as a cult. Tiago, I got to keep an eye on you too, Tiago. All right. All right, folks. Well, it's 8 o'clock. I'm going to do my little sign off here. All right. Um, I love you all. This has been fantastic. You guys made me laugh a lot. I definitely needed that after that ridiculous press conference. Thank you all those who gave super chats. I'm going to say it as I always do, folks. Many of you probably already heard this earlier today, but let's do it, shall we? All right. Okay. First of all, never stop resisting. All right. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. That includes when you're watching me, because we're not a cult. Not okay. And think for yourselves, and including when you're watching me. The best way to fight fascism is major reforms, because fascism is a symptom of a sick society where people no longer trust democracy. So you need the democracy to actually provide things for people for them to regain faith in it. We need some major reforms. Centrism will not work. All right. I know that's controversial for a lot of folks, but it is simply true historically. Last part here on the wall behind me, you will see a sword. Okay. We all know that that's Chainbreaker. Known for killing 7 slave owners. We cannot forget the sacrifices the people before us have made to gain some of the things we have today, and we cannot allow those things to be rolled back. And we need to make sure we improve things for the future because the sacrifice has been too great historically for us to lose those things. And on that note, folks, I'm going to sign off. All of you have a great night, morning, wherever it may be you are. I love you all dearly. Have a good night.